We want to welcome to Veterans Radio today, James Barber. James, welcome to Veterans Radio.
Thanks for having me.
Well, this is going to be an interesting conversation. James has a number of hats that he wears, but we have him on because he developed and launched a channel for military.com called Off Duty that covers the military's representation in movies, television, music, video games, and popular culture. You wrote an article that caught my eye, and which is why I reached out to you, which was titled, "He Wasn't Always a Sailor Man. Here's the Surprisingly Complicated Military Career of Popeye." And if you're of a certain age or vintage, that sort of rings a bell for you. Why did it capture you, and what did you want to write about it?
Well, there was a hook on it, which was it's the 40th anniversary of Robert Altman's film of Popeye starring Robin Williams, and that was his first major film role. And the movie's just been issued on Blu-ray for the first time. But rather than, and we've experimented with this over the years, we've decided that writing a review of Robin Williams and Popeye is not necessarily the best way to approach it for our audience. So it's like, okay, Popeye is a popular military figure in pop culture. Robin Williams, obviously a beloved person among people who saw him on his many USO tours. So how do we tie all this together, and what do we know about Popeye? And start poking around, and I remember him as a sailor in the Navy when I was a kid watching the cartoons. I didn't know he had previously been in the Coast Guard, and I had never seen the cartoon where he and Bluto try to join the Army.
Well, and it's done with a certain amount of not only factual, sort of background, but a little bit of irreverence, isn't it?
If it's not fun, people aren't going to read it.
There you go. That's I think that sums it up. If you were given a class on how to write.
But I think the storytelling part of what we write about is very important. The way that people use stories to try to make sense of the world, which goes all the way back through all of human history. But it is, for the most part, it's entertainment. Occasionally we come across a documentary or a feature film that goes a lot deeper. But for the most part, and a lot of people who want to incorporate military elements into their film or TV show don't really know much about the military and don't have the time or inclination to do the research to get it right. And it's fun to have fun with those mistakes. And that's a recurring theme on the channel as well.
Listen to this full episode and more on the Apple Podcasts app, Blog Talk Radio, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.